Just a few years ago, as a veteran of the U.S. Army Nurse Corps and as a peer facilitator with NAMI New York City Staten Island, I had intended on sharing advocacy with other veterans on Staten Island. And I went to every post and every hall to talk about the hope I saw for others to become trained and start your own support groups without involving a professional or someone from the outside, so that you could share openly without concern about being judged or biased or even upsetting family members. Because there are some things we can share, but we choose not to. And there are times when it is not appropriate to share certain things with people who just want to have our backs. There are certain things that if you are not familiar, it might be best to leave it to clinicians and those who are learning to become clinicians. But for those of us who live that life every day, who fight through challenges of PTSD every single day, it's important that as a part of my advocacy, which has always been relentless, that everyone knows there is hope and we are part of a community. We don't necessarily understand each other, but we are part of a community of people who have survived through things that the general person should never have to survive through. But we have, and we persist, and I need to share hope. I have been on the 9/11 registry, and it has paid towards some co-pays for therapy years ago. But I was there on 9/11 at Ground Zero with the first of its kind crisis response team for first responders. We were way too early for that process, but we were there just in time for me to learn lessons I needed to learn, and for me to experience the true fear that I would come to know so intimately later in my life. I will stand guard over this phone in this memorial garden, and I will stand here and cry for hours. Not only because of what it symbolizes to me, because of the so many family and friends I lost, but because it worked. In a perfect storm of loss, in the place between life and death that I never even imagined exists, I have learned lessons that give me not only hope and inspiration, but a profound sense of protectiveness. Protective of the very thing I never even imagined exists. But now I know it does. And it is not for everyone, but for those who it is for, I would die 1,000 deaths and burn for all eternity before I would walk away from my responsibilities. As one of possibly many protectors. Not just of a phone in a beautiful garden, but of an access point to some sense of dimensional travel. Something my clinical old me has searched for rationale and reasons for, based on the Diagnostic Statistical Manual I once obsessed over during my career and my volunteer work. I don't seek to market or preach or sell anything to anyone. I share now because I can, so I do. But not for everyone. Just for those who may possibly have had their perception of life completely changed. And for the possible select few who, like me, have learned that this phone worked. And it's beautiful. And my unbreakable code does transcend death. And for however long I am on this earth, my advocacy will remain relentless.